So let's say you sprain your ankle, maybe tweak a shoulder or even just pull a muscle. What's the first thing people always tell you to do? They tell you to grab a bag of ice, throw it on it, rest for a bit, and then they may even say to compress or elevate. All of these things boil down to the word rice. It's been the go-to choice for decades, but I'm going to tell you today, resting too much can actually make you worse. And ice even slows down your healing. Today, I'm going to break down why just resting it isn't the answer anymore and what you should be doing instead. My name is Dr. Clayton Dir, also known as the Doc Dir. I'm a physical therapist and the host of today's podcast, Heal Without Harm. Let's get into it. Rice was something that came up when we thought about injuries, as the first thing that took place is swelling. And the idea is that when you put an ice bag on a fresh injury, you are actually going to slow down the swelling and potentially decrease the amount that's going to come on. We have now learned that inflammation, which is the process that causes that swelling, is actually the first step in healing. And if we try to slow that down, we're going to slow down the entire healing process and overall do ourselves more harm than help, which is, of course, not what we want. The new thing that they're coming out with now is called peace and love. The downside is that is way too many letters. So by the end of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil it down to 3 or 4 takeaway thoughts and teach you more of the concept on how to heal better, as opposed to just throwing ice on it and hoping everything does the trick. When we talk about rice in specific, which is rest, ice, compress, and elevate, it was popularized in the 1970s. It's definitely outdated now, and that's why you're listening to the podcast that you are. I am here to bring you a better way to heal up those injuries. Also, if you've listened to my podcast at all, you're probably wondering why my voice sounds like this. Over the last week, I lost it, which is why today's episode is also short, so that hopefully I can keep this, ultimately keep this podcast understandable throughout the whole time. So people usually ask, what is wrong with rest? Rest is not necessarily a problem. Just like with everything I talk about, the dose is the poison. People sometimes when they get injured, they think it's an excuse to rest, and they end up taking weeks, if not months off from the gym, from an active lifestyle, from everything else that was keeping them healthy. You need rest. That's definitely part of it. But we need to do more of protection as opposed to just resting. When you rest for too much or too long, it causes weakness, stiffness, and slower healing. The thing is that sprained ankle, it'll heal. But if you rest for too long, you're going to have to start solving problems other than just the sprained ankle. If you stop walking on it, you're going to slowly start losing the strength in your calf. You're going to lose range of motion in the ankle, and you're going to have a whole new slew of problems that as the ankle heals, you're actually going to be solving the weakness problem after that and the range of motion loss problem after that. And so moving into this new thing, which is peace and love, it's going to break down the better way to do it. Moving into that first word, peace, it is protect, elevate, avoid anti-inflammatories, compress, and educate. The educate piece is educating yourself by doing research, or it is going to someone who can educate you on what steps to take next. The love is load, optimism, vascularization, and exercise. I'm going to break these down. Let's go back to that first word, protect. You essentially want to make sure you don't harm it anymore. So of course, if you just sprained it, walking on it is probably a bad idea. You can protect it by just simply not using it. You can protect it by putting some sort of compression on it. You can protect it by putting a brace to where if it does get bumped, it won't get bumped into a movement or a range of motion that's going to hurt it worse. You're essentially just going to baby it. That's totally fine. Do it for the first 1, 2, 3 days. All of this is going to still be scaled to how bad the injury is. The next letter, E for elevate. You want to keep it at or above your heart so that you aren't going to swell too much. Swelling is normal. It's supposed to happen. It's going to suck and it's going to hurt, but it needs to happen. We just don't want that stuff to get there too much or last too long. So if we keep it elevated, you're going to have gravity help your body not swell too much. This next one, A, which is for avoid anti-inflammatories. This sounds controversial, I know, but like I talked about, inflammation is supposed to be the first step in the healing process. And if you're just going to start chewing on some ibuprofen or Aleve right out the gate, you're going to slow down the inflammatory process that your body is supposed to go through. If you slow that down, you're going to slow the next step down and you're going to make this last longer than you want. So try to stay away from any sort of anti-inflammatories. Aleve, ibuprofen, Advil, naproxen sodium is the other one, or anything on there that says NSAIDs, which is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. We're going to want to stay away from those here in the first 2-3 days, maybe even upwards of the first week. The next one is compress. So you're going to want to put light compression. This doesn't mean wrap it super heavy or put on the tightest stocking or sock you can find. It just means add some light compression. Again, physics-wise, this is going to help your body get the damaged tissue out. We'll see if I can keep this simple. There is a gentleman I follow. His name is Kelly Starrett. He's probably one of the GOATs when it comes to physical therapy. He always says, get the groceries in and the garbage out. You want to have new blood flow constantly coming to that area, but you also want your body to get rid of the garbage, or what we call cellular debris, the damaged cells. You want to get those out. Compression helps with this. The next one, E, educate. This is the E, the last letter in the first word, peace. You want to educate yourself. You want to start understanding what is going on in the body. You want to start understanding, hey, how much range of motion should I have on this? How much strength do I need? Can I progress to the next step? You can find a lot of this stuff with ChatGPT, the podcast you're listening to now, any of my social media. You can follow Squat University. You can go follow a lot of different people online who are putting information out on this consistently. If you want some more personalized approach, contact me. Find a physical therapist in your area. Start talking to friends who have been through a similar process and see what worked for them. Start learning about your body and learning about this body part on how to heal up the best. Moving into the second one. Now we're on the word love, which is again, load, optimism, vascularization, and exercise. Load is a very simple word, but I think a lot of people don't really understand what it means. Our body is going to respond to whatever stress is placed upon it. If you don't walk for 10 days, you're going to very easily lose the ability to walk. You're going to lose a lot of muscle mass. You're going to lose bone density. You're going to lose all your strength, and it's going to be bad. And your body's just adapting to what you're doing or not doing. If you start loading the body, load can be jumping, it can be walking, it can be lifting heavy weights, it can just be doing squats. Your body's going to adapt. It's starting to learn, oh wow, I need to be stronger, so it's going to build muscle. My bones need to be denser, so it's going to start making them more dense. You need to start loading this joint after you're able to, but you're going to do it gradually. You need to place load on this so the body knows that it needs to strengthen this area secondary to the injury that just took place. If you need help with that, again, please contact me or go back to the last letter, educate yourself. I don't mean that rudely, but go out and learn about how to do it. The next one, optimism. Oh, you need to be optimistic. It is totally believable, but honestly mind-blowing at the same time, how much the body heals better when you're optimistic. You need to understand that your body will heal. It's super cool like that. And if you have a positive attitude about it and you surround yourself with positive people, your body will legitimately heal faster. I think this is one of the coolest things that nobody gives enough credit to. And when people like me say that optimism helps, they just blow it off like that's not a thing. There is massive amount of research behind it. So be optimistic that your body will heal. Be patient with it, because I know when I recently fractured my hand, the first 48 hours, I felt like I was never going to be able to use it again. 48 hours after that, 80% of my pain was gone. So just be optimistic that this thing will heal. I promise you it will. This next one is a very fancy word, vascularization. All it means is make sure blood flow is getting there. Move it, move the joints around it. So if we go back to the sprained ankle, make sure you're moving your knee. Make sure you're moving your hip. Make sure you're moving the ankle in pain-free ranges of motion. If you need to, as long as there's no infection or active bleeding, you can actually apply heat to the area, which goes completely against the old advice of ice. But it's going to bring new blood flow there, and it's going to get things flowing, which is going to help bring the groceries in and get the garbage out. Out with the bad, in with the good. Final one. This is exercise. This is right up the alley of load. It just means move. If your ankle is hurt, strengthen your knee, strengthen your hip, move your hips, move your shoulders, move your elbows, walk with a scooter, get on a bicycle, one that's not going to hurt the ankle, do rowing, do some sort of activity or exercise that just does not use the affected area. This exercise will help you not only full body, but it'll actually help you heal faster. This is what I love about this entire new thing of peace and love, is it comes at it from a point of like conceptual learning. It pretty much says, be smart, don't do too much, gradually return, avoid anti-inflammatories, and stay optimistic. I love it because it also encourages you to educate yourself. Learn everything you can about the body and how to take care of this yourself. If it's not working, you want to go faster, you're a little bit nervous and have questions, reach out to people. Reach out to, ideally, an occupational therapist, a physical therapist, even a chiropractor, people who work on this stuff day in and day out. Generally, your primary care physician, who they know a lot by all means, a lot of the times this is not their specialty. So if you can reach out to someone who this is all they work with, that's going to be where you get your best information. The main takeaway from this peace and love, is that healing is an active process, not a passive process. Recovery is oftentimes an active process, not a passive process. It's something that you need to take part in on your own and try to really grab the bull by the horns here and do everything you can to make this process go as fast as you can. And what I usually tell people in PT is when you have an acute injury, the goal is to lose as little as possible. You injured it or something injured you. The body is now hurt. The goal is to lose as little strength, lose as little range of motion, lose as little as possible so that you can return as close to where you were before the injury took place. Honestly, my main thing is I just want to encourage you to have smart movement and not excessive rest. Take the time you need. Sometimes it's one day, sometimes it's a week, sometimes it may be a month if it's bad enough. But don't baby yourself and make sure that you're still empowering yourself to be strong. Ultimately, I just want to have the most up-to-date information out there, and rice is such a thing of the past. We need to set it aside, come out with peace and love, and we need to make sure that you are strengthening up as quick as possible. To finish up today, I want you to remember that the next time you're injured, healing isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing the right things. You need to protect it, move it, stay optimistic, and trust your body to heal. That can be the simple thing. Peace and love is a lot of letters. Google it next time you get hurt, or just remember to protect, move, stay optimistic, and trust your body. Thanks for listening to today's quick hit. If you want to try out the Whoop band that I've been using, go to the link in the podcast description. If you think you have someone that I should have on the podcast, please fill out the form in the description as well. If you want to try out some electrolytes, I've also got that in there too. My goal is to actually try and enjoy the things that I talk about, not just try to make a quick dollar type of thing. And so if you found this helpful, please share it with someone who still thinks resting forever is the answer. We know it's not. Send it to your grumpy old dad, aka my dad. Send it to your sister. Send it to your friend who just tweaked their shoulder. And I'll see you next time here on Heal with the Arm. Thank you guys.
Athletes and club teams, load up your gear with Van Gogh Transport Services. Led by local Ironman triathletes, Van Gogh safely ships your bikes, team equipment, or even bulky luggage to out-of-town events. Focus on performance, not logistics. Explore more at vangohtransport.biz.